sustainability?
Yeah, it's actually fun.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Do you feel like you're living a sustainable life?
I think so. I try to recycle as much as possible, keep my food waste to a minimum, and we have the heating off quite a lot in my house, but that's mainly to try and save money.
Well, that's really good. But have you heard of any of the sustainability events run at the university?
No, not really.
Well, let me tell you about Blackout.
Blackout is a night out with the lights out. Organised by members of university staff and members of the student union, it is an event focused on highlighting the amounts of electricity wasted from equipment, particularly computers, being left turned on overnight. The aim of the event is to increase awareness on sustainability and to bring staff and students together in the process of doing so. In 2014, 23.6% of all computers on campus were left on after hours and turned off by the volunteers helping out with the event. But Blackout isn't just about one night in one university. Electricity waste is a widespread issue and is something that the whole of the UK and the rest of the world need to do something about in order to be sustainable in the future. Energy saving schemes have facilitated substantial financial savings around the country, showing that you can be sustainable even when you're not at university. In February in 2009, the Gloucester Council launched a Turn Off the Lights scheme, where streetlights in rural areas and market towns between midnight and 5:30 am were switched off. This was followed in April in 2009 by a streetlight dimming scheme, where high wattage bulbs were dimmed by 35% between 10 pm and 5:30 am. This saved the council over £200,000, which was redistributed into other sectors benefiting the wider community. This also raised awareness about the importance of switching off devices when they're not in use. You could also do this on a smaller scale in your university life, especially if you're not bills included. Since the 1970s, there's been a rise in energy efficiency initiatives in the UK, and without these initiatives, current energy usage would be double the current level, which would add roughly £1,000 to the average person's per annum energy bill. According to estimates, the university would be able to save about £200,000 a year. As the average cost per kilowatt hour is 12p in the UK, then as much as 1.6 million kilowatt hours can be saved. In the UK, 1 kilowatt hour produces 50 grams of CO2 on average. Using this figure, a whopping 847,500 kilograms of CO2 could be prevented from entering the atmosphere. Based on numbers from 2013, 23,000 students were enrolled in the University of Southampton. This means that 36.8 kilograms of CO2 could be saved per student. CO2 is the largest contributor to the enhanced greenhouse effect. Carbon dioxide has already transgressed its safe atmospheric limits of 350 parts per million, and the impacts that this may have are largely unknown. Humanity has put itself at risk. Reducing the levels of CO2 being released is the start of solving this global impact, and 36.8 kilograms per student is an amazing start. As an invisible commodity, the qualities of electricity cannot be directly perceived, making it hard for the consumer to develop an emotional involvement. When discussing consumption on an individual level, it is important to emphasize the tangible benefits of a sustainable scheme like Blackout. Starting with economic savings. If a person realizes that his or her annual electricity bill is high, but attributes this fact to electricity prices and not to her or his consumption behavior, he or she will not make a decision on this behavior. The same is true if he or she attributes the costs to his or her behavior, but does not know how to control it because she has no idea which appliances cause the high consumption or how to save energy. Feedback on electricity consumption can activate a desire for cost savings. Current approaches for informing residents about their power consumption is limited, so consumers are unaware of the repercussions of their consumption and the potential benefits they can achieve. As an example, the average standby consumption of appliances costs UK households between £50 and £86 annually. More attention needs to be paid to the user side of sustainability and a motive for change. As you can see, Blackout is a great example of how you can reduce electricity waste. It has got many social, economic and environmental benefits on a range of scales. If this template project was implemented on a regional, national, or even global scale, these benefits could be present at a much wider range with more people experiencing them.
So what do you think about Blackout?
It sounds absolutely fantastic. I'm completely converted.
It's really good.
I'm actually going to go and turn off everything I own right now.
Yeah, but what about waste wars and BioBlitz and Biocycle and